On the last day of her junior year, May 17, 2001, 17-year-old Alyssa Turney walked out of her Phoenix, Arizona high school for the final time. She never came home. Her disappearance would go unsolved for decades. This is not just the story of a missing person. It is the story of silence, of a family's secrets, of manipulation in media, and of one sister's desperate crusade for answers. This is the story of Alyssa Turney. Alyssa Turney was a typical teenager in many ways. She had dyed brown hair, a sarcastic sense of humor, and loved listening to bands like Limp Bizkit and Sublime. She wanted to go to beauty school. She had a part-time job, and she sometimes butted heads with her strict stepfather. But according to her sister Sarah and friends who knew her well, Alyssa had a fire to her. She wasn't afraid to stand up for herself. Beneath the teenage angst, there was a girl who deeply cared for her younger sister and who had plans for the future. Home life, however, was far from stable. Michael Turney, Alyssa's stepfather, had legally adopted both her and Sarah after marrying their mother. But after their mother died of cancer in 1993, Michael became a single parent and a very controlling one. He kept track of the girls obsessively, installing surveillance cameras in and around the house, recording phone conversations, and sometimes even showing up unannounced at Alyssa's job. He told the girls it was for their protection, but for Alyssa, it felt like imprisonment. On May 17, 2001, Sarah was just 12 years old. That morning, her older sister, Alyssa, said goodbye as she left for school. Sarah had no idea it would be the last time she saw her. That afternoon, Michael picked Alyssa up early from school, something he claimed was pre-planned. He said they had an argument on the drive home. According to his version, Alyssa wanted more freedom, more independence. When they got home, Michael says she stormed into her room and shut the door. He later claimed he left the house to run errands with Sarah, and when they came back, Alyssa was gone. All that remained was a note, written on lined paper. It read, "Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you wanted me gone, now you have it. Dad, I took $300 from you." To police, it looked like a simple runaway, but there were red flags immediately. Alyssa left behind her cell phone, purse, makeup, clothes, and all her personal belongings. She never contacted a single friend again. Her social security number was never used. Her bank account remained untouched. She had simply vanished. At the time, police treated the case as a voluntary runaway. No Amber Alert was issued. No major search took place. Alyssa's friends and family tried to push for more scrutiny, but authorities saw no signs of foul play. Michael Turney, always quick to volunteer information, repeatedly told officers that Alyssa was a troubled teen. He claimed she ran off to California to be with her biological aunt. He said she was into drugs, that she had a temper. But when questioned further, inconsistencies began to emerge. Michael Turney was obsessed with surveillance. Their Phoenix home was wired with multiple cameras. He kept meticulous records, tapes of phone calls, and notebooks detailing his interactions with Alyssa. Yet, mysteriously, the footage from the day of her disappearance was accidentally taped over. He claimed he called the police the day Alyssa vanished. Records showed he didn't call until the next day. In another strange detail, he claimed a California number called Alyssa's cell phone days after she went missing. But investigators found no evidence that such a call occurred. Everything about Michael's story had cracks, and those cracks began to widen. Years went by. The case went cold. Sarah Turney grew up under the same roof as the man many suspected of knowing more than he let on. It wasn't until 2008 that the Phoenix Police Department reopened Alyssa's case. New detectives dug into Michael's past, reviewing evidence with fresh eyes. What they found was staggering. In a raid on Michael Turney's home, police uncovered 19 assault rifles, 26 homemade pipe bombs, and a 97-page manifesto detailing a plan to attack the local electrical union headquarters. Michael Turney believed the union had abducted and murdered Alyssa as part of a government conspiracy. Yes, a government conspiracy. He had even planned a violent act of revenge. By now, Sarah Turney was an adult, and she had begun to question everything she had once accepted. She realized her father's story didn't add up. She realized he had isolated her from her sister, that he had manipulated her. So she did something incredible. She started speaking out. Sarah launched a podcast called Voices for Justice, where she publicly examined her sister's case. She posted to social media, made videos, and took to TikTok, where her videos began to go viral. She wasn't just asking for attention. She was demanding justice. TikTok, of all platforms, brought international awareness to the case. Millions watched. Thousands began pushing for answers. And in August 2020, after nearly 2 decades, the unthinkable happened. Michael Turney was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in the death of Alyssa Turney. The arrest was major, but it didn't mean the story was over. Michael Turney pleaded not guilty. As of this writing, his trial has not concluded. The prosecution believes he killed Alyssa and staged her disappearance. Yet there is still no physical evidence, no body, no confirmed eyewitnesses. Only the overwhelming weight of suspicion, the testimony of a sister, and a pattern of disturbing behavior. Alyssa's case is one of thousands of missing person stories that rarely get national headlines. But what made this case different was Sarah. She refused to let her sister be forgotten. She used every platform, every tool, every ounce of strength she had to get attention. She forced media outlets, police departments, and politicians to listen. This story is not just about a girl who went missing. It's about how silence protects abusers, how institutions can fail victims, how love can outlast trauma. Sarah Turney is not a detective, not a lawyer, not a journalist. She's a sister, and her voice changed everything. We may never know exactly what happened to Alyssa Turney, but thanks to Sarah, we're closer than ever to the truth. If you know something about Alyssa Turney's case, contact the Phoenix Police Department. Because justice only happens when we speak.